Hello and welcome to this Booksy instructional video where I'm hopefully going to show you some troubleshooting steps to run through if it looks like your client side of your Booksy profile isn't appearing in the client app. So what I've done today is I've made this test account so we can demonstrate some troubleshooting steps that you can run through to work out why your Booksy profile isn't showing in the client app. So we've got this Booksy profile called Booksy Testing, but unfortunately, if I go into the client app, we'll see that I'm not really given the option to click on my profile. It should be appearing here as I kind of type the business name, but for whatever reason, the profile isn't appearing at all. Now, we'll probably do a separate video on if your profile is appearing, but the services aren't showing or the availability isn't showing. So let's run through some troubleshooting techniques together. So maybe you've come back off a long break, or just for some reason you found that your business isn't showing in the client app. Well, the very first thing to do is to check our dedicated feature for that. So once you've opened the Booksy Biz app, head over to the More tab in the bottom right hand side, and from there choose Business Profile. You've got an option at the top there called Business Info. And at the very bottom of there, we'll have an option called Make Your Profile Public. So this is probably the first place to check. It's basically our dedicated feature to make your profile invisible. So if this was unticked, my profile would be invisible by my choice. And this would be useful for, if you were doing some work on your profile or setting it up and you didn't want clients to book. But this is actually ticked and available. So this tells me that this isn't what's causing my profile to not show in the client app. So let's go ahead and hit save, and we can move on to the next step of the troubleshooting process. So what I'll do now is let me check my services, because on Booksy, if I have no availability at all, for a client to make any appointments, it won't display my profile in the app. Basically, it won't show an app in the client app that no one can make any bookings on. So I'm checking in my calendar. I'm just verifying that I have availability, and I do. I can see that my staff members are available here just by seeing that there's space in the calendar. Similarly, just to double check that availability, I could go to Business Profile and then Work Schedule if I'm on Android or the web version of Booksy Biz. And I can just verify that I've got these green blocks here in the near future, which I do. I can see that I have that there. So I have availability for clients to book, so that's not what the issue is. So let's move to the next step of the troubleshooting process, and we'll actually check the services themselves. So I've gone to More and then Business Profile, and then I've gone to Services. And you can see I've got a lot of services here, and as long as one of these is available, my profile should be displaying. So let me tap on the color service here and then go to the advanced options, where I can see this option called Bookable on my profile. And this is basically an option to make the service invisible for online booking. And if I had a situation where all of my services had that unticked, that could be another reason why my profile isn't showing in the client app. Because again, if I've got no services that are available for online booking, I basically have no availability, and so the profile won't display in the client app. So we can actually see in this case, on this troubleshooting step, that I do have at least this service available for online booking. So it tells me this isn't what's causing the profile not to display. So I'm going to move on to the next troubleshooting step. So what I'm going to check is I'm going to go to my staff members, and although we saw that they had availability and we saw that they had space for appointments, I just want to check that they are actually available for online booking. So again, I'm going to More, Business Profile, Staff Members, and let's go to the manager's account. So I can see here that this option here, available for booking, hasn't been ticked. So let me go ahead and do that. What that will do is say that this staff member is now available for online booking, and probably if I check these other ones, I'll see that none of them are actually available for online booking. So although they had availability, although they had services that they could do, we had previously told the system, perhaps before our long break, that these staff members weren't available for booking. And thus it means that no one can make any bookings, and so the profile doesn't display. So let's see, that looked quite promising because it wasn't enabled. So now if we go to the client app and just give a little refresh. So now we can see that the Booksy profile is displaying again properly. All my services are listed here. So that was the last troubleshooting step that we managed to identify. So I hope this was a helpful video. Essentially, one of those steps that we checked should be what's causing your profile to not display. Like I said, if it's your profile is displaying, but the availability that's there isn't displaying, we'll have a separate video on that to help you run through the troubleshooting steps for that. But in essence, I hope that helped to explain to you how this problem can occur and the different ways you can resolve that, so you can get back to booking peace of mind. If you have any queries or you're having challenges trying to resolve this issue, don't hesitate to hit the More tab and go to the customer support chat, and we'll help you run through the troubleshooting process to identify what could be causing that.